And then there were 5. Roy Hodgson has named his provisional squad for Euro 2016. There are 26 names. We've spoken about the goalkeepers and defenders. We've spoken about the midfielders with a lot of anger coming out of Sam's mouth.
That didn't make me sound like an angry man. That's very fair anger. I will point this out.
And as I say, now we're left with 5 forwards, and there is one name that we didn't expect. No. I think we spoke about it a little bit. We spoke about it last week on Bull Street. Thought he might be the surprise.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck has obviously got injured, but so the 5 that are left, the 5 that are going to be up front in the squad: Harry Kane, Daniel Sturridge, Marcus Rashford, Jamie Vardy, Wayne Rooney. That's right, I said Marcus Rashford. Marcus. I can't seem to say his name.
Look, the kid's brilliant. Like 12 months ago, he was playing for under-18s. All of a sudden, he's lighting it up against Midtjylland, Arsenal, Man City, West Ham. There's so many occasions this season where you've seen him take that pressure, and he looks absolutely ready for it. And he probably is ready for Euro 2016, but I'm being selfish. I'm a United fan. I do not want him in that final squad. He needs to just take a week, all-inclusive, go to Malaga with his family, sit there on a sunbed and remember being an 18-year-old again, because we've seen it too many times with England. With this man, Wayne Rooney, we've seen it with Owen, we've seen it with Walcott, youngsters who are brought straight in very quickly, look exciting, and then the excitement peters out a bit too quickly because they get thrown into the spotlight. And if I'm looking at Marcus Rashford, Daily Mail in March brought out a story saying that his brother was a convicted murderer. He's going to have to deal with that in the English press. We've seen it with Beckham after the World Cup. English players get hounded by the press. And coming into that as an 18-year-old is tough to cope with. And I think he'll be excited. Man United fans will be excited. I don't think he'll go to Euros. So maybe it's a good thing he's been included as provisional squad. I just don't want him to go to Euro 2016.
For people that haven't seen that much of Man United in the last 2 months since he's come in the team, what does he bring?
He's not just a goal scorer. That's the first and foremost is he's actually a winger. And you can see that in how he plays. When he has the ball at his feet, I think probably the Demichelis goal really showed that. When he had the ball, skipped past him like he was an old man. He is an old man. Yeah. But, I mean, he's more than just goals. His movement, his overall touch, he's intelligent, the right runs at the right time. He's very much, he's not a complete forward, that's the wrong way to describe him, but he's far more than about, he's not Javier Hernandez. He won't be waiting in the 6-yard box for a goal. He'll make chances and then score them.
And so, I guess, look, we've got 5 forwards here. Generally, in a squad of 23, you take 5.
Yeah.
So if you're taking 5, doesn't that mean he's going? He's actually going?
No, if I'm going to rank these, I'm going to say Harry Kane's first choice. I'd say Jamie Vardy, Sturridge and Rooney. I'm not really sure who would play there. And I'll put Rashford down at the bottom. So he's going to be 5th choice anyway. So if he does go, he's not going to come off the bench.
Yeah, because we've got probably the best set of centre forwards that we've had since 20 years ago, since Euro 96. So he is down at the bottom of the pile there. Some people that have missed out, Jermaine Defoe, he came out in the press himself and said, I've done everything I can to get into this squad and now it's down to Roy Hodgson. I think that was a desperate plea to kind of see if something could happen there, but
didn't work out for him.
He must feel a little bit aggrieved
I think
that Rashford is coming in, because also with Hodgson is how much are you going to learn about Rashford in a week, these 2 games? You're not going to learn that much about him, whereas as a 5th choice striker, Jermaine Defoe, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, but the idea of a 5th choice striker is like, I don't know, you're in the quarterfinals and your main choice striker has been injured, you've got 2 centre forwards on that aren't really doing much, you're going to turn to a person you know that can come and make the difference. As I said
do you know that he can do that?
No, you don't, but that's what I said. Roy Hodgson's turned into a hipster for this squad selection. He's put £100 straight on 35 on the roulette table instead of going red or black. He's taken a bigger gamble, which could ultimately pay off because nobody knows about Rashford outside of England. He's an unknown entity, which has its own benefits. But Jermaine Defoe, he kept Sunderland up
completely
on his own, basically. And Rashford has carried United for a lot this season, but we're still quite poor.
And you say carried, Martial's carried.
Yeah, Martial and Rashford together have been just phenomenally exciting to watch, and that is what Rashford did. He's pure excitement.
Yeah. One guy who, look, as an 18-year-old, was just set the Euros alight. 2004. You never know, Rashford might do it this time round, but here we are all these years later on. England's greatest goal scorer of all time, but so much talk about him playing in midfield, not playing at all, or if, as we say, with so many great forwards playing up front and someone else missing out. What's your view on him? He's always going to be in a squad. We knew that he's the captain. It's the next question is he going to play?
England are in a situation now that United have been in for the past few years, in that Rooney's one of your biggest names. He's nearly our top scorer. He's already England's top scorer. It's a case of trying to fit him into the squad instead of he deserves to be in that squad. And that's the problem that Roy Hodgson faces now. He's his captain, England's highest goal scorer.
So do you think he doesn't deserve to be in the squad?
No, he does not. He deserves to be in the squad. He doesn't deserve to be in that starting 11. But he will be. Where he is, we don't know. But Roy is going to have to squeeze him in, which could be England's detriment. It might come against us. I mean, sometimes Rooney in a deeper role can do well. I think probably number 10 is his better role, but I wouldn't start him ahead of Ali in number 10.
I think it's a really difficult, because he's your captain. So as your manager, you've got to kind of back him to a point, but he's got a very big decision to make to say, do you play him and do you play him up front? I think most people would say that they probably wouldn't, which means you've then got 3 guys who I think are probably not more talented, but are in a better space in terms of the amount of goals that they've been scoring, the form that they've had over the last couple of years. And I guess in Vardy, just had the greatest year of his life. Is it Harry Kane? Is he your number 1 then?
Yeah, I think by some margin, Harry Kane's our first choice. I think people are going to be looking towards him to make the difference. Jamie Vardy's flavour of the month, so he's going to go to Euro 2016 as flavour of the month as well. Everyone's going to be hoping he's going to do something, but eyes are going to be towards Harry Kane. Daniel Sturridge, a bit like Wilshere. I have no idea. Technically, if he's fit enough, he's going to be one of our best players. But will he?
I think look, he's been fit for a decent while now. A little bit up and down at Liverpool. In the big games, he's turned up. Villarreal, he was absolutely superb. I think it's going to be down to these 2 to play, and I think it's a case of what Hodgson thinks is going to do better. Are you going to do better with Jamie Vardy coming on for the last 20 minutes and stretching it, or are you doing better with him coming off after 60 minutes? After sort of harrying and stretching the defence and maybe tiring them out a little bit.
I suppose it's knockout football. Everyone's got to remember that. So it's looking back at Louis van Gaal in Netherlands. That's why they were so enjoyable to watch, because they sat deep and they just burst forward straight away. You don't win the Euros by keeping clean sheets. You've got to score goals. So we've got to play attacking football, and we've got the team to do it. Our defence is not good this year, which is a bit strange, because normally it's been the defence which has been England's strong point, and we're always crap in defence anyway, and we've got a bad goalkeeper. But we're looking here at a team which should excite you playing forward football, attacking football. And Sturridge can be part of that. And everyone can be, but...
Well, do you know what I think also? So it's probably the first time where we don't need to play the same front 2 in the first game as the second game. We might actually switch it around a bit, which would be good. One last thing with Rashford, of course, is a shock here.
Yeah.
Does Andy Carroll... It doesn't need to feel aggrieved, because I don't think he's done enough during the season. But in terms of options off the bench, are you missing a trick by not taking Andy Carroll?
No, I think this has been Roy Hodgson's statement team. This is England moving forward. Andy Carroll has absolutely no place in England moving forward.
Not even the last 10 minutes?
No, not even the last 10 minutes, bump it to the long man. I've watched that all season. I do not want to see anybody bump it to the long man. Carroll is going to be... He's Fellaini, right, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want that anywhere near the team. You would no way would you put it in front of any 5 of those strikers, or Jermaine Defoe. So, and then Welbeck's injured as well, so I would have Andy Carroll down there as 8th choice. Nowhere near this England team. I think it's right to leave him out.
Well, let us know what you think. Do you think Andy Carroll was worth the punt? Marcus Rashford, tell us about him. Do you think that he should have been in the squad? Is he actually going to go? And if he does, can he make an impact on the biggest scene there is? Check out the other videos and let us know what you think about the defence and the midfield. If you enjoyed these videos, give them a like and subscribe to the Ball Street channel.